First, I want to thank everybody for showing me love and support on this channel. And I think I gave away about maybe 5 free video game codes yesterday. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition, Fallout 3 Ultimate Edition. And that's just my way of saying thanks to people to, try to spread some love or whatever, you know. So it's fascinating in this world how when you're young, you can have a fire or a spark inside of you. And due to the circumstances in life, you can have it almost wiped away, almost destroyed in this sick, twisted, sadistic, vile void. When you're young, you have many dreams and aspirations. Well, at least some of us do. And once you get to a certain age and you haven't realized your full potential or your full method of actually making it, it can be very disheartening for a lot of people. I've been emailing back and forth with a few people telling me how they feel really stuck. And you can see it on YouTube now. People feel stuck in life. They feel isolated, devastated. They feel annoyed. And this is millions of people. It's not just a couple of us on here talking about things here and there. There's a lot of people on there, on YouTube just talking about their lives and the situations they're in. What I was thinking is how cruel it is and how time is a terrible teacher. How our bodies break down slowly. Even if you eat all the healthy food, you exercise every day. Let's say you're a millionaire, you have a good life, you get to eat the best food, live in a stress-free environment, and you're making millions of dollars doing what you love. Even then, eventually your body's going to shut down. And the deterioration of the mind and the body is something I just really don't understand. For beings in the image of a mighty being, it sucks that we have to be treated this way. You gain your whole life trying to gain skills, attributes, and talents, cultivate them, meeting people, going around the world if you can, going through all these negative life experiences, and every now and then positive. But yet, one day, you're going to be gone. Isn't that interesting how everything is created to die? You live, then you die. This world, there's beauty, and then there's ugliness. Just YouTube, crocodile eats gazelle, a lion hunts zebra, snake swallows a capybara or something like that. See the violence on the news and all that. There's a constant barrage of negativity in our vicinity. There's a constant barrage of all this evil. And it's very weird. A world that contains simultaneously beauty, but also death. It's almost hyperbolic when you really think about it. How the world does have some beauty in it. Beautiful mountains in Sweden. Germany's beautiful. Places around the world. Places in Japan that's beautiful. Places like Dubai or whatever that may look beautiful, but underneath the surface is created with, slave labor pretty much. And just, why can't this world just be like we all live forever? We all have powerful, dreams and ambitions, and we come to realize them because there's plenty of space in the universe for everybody to be happy. There's so many undiscovered planets out there that each one of us right now can have our own entire planet. Hell, our own entire galaxy, and there'll still be so much room left in the universe if you really think about it. They say there's 6-8 billion people in the world, whatever. At least on the surface. I'm not going to talk about what's inside the world and secret places and spaces there, but let's say there's 6-8 billion people. Okay, that's 6-8 billion galaxies or 6-8 billion planets. That's more than enough for all of us to have our own. I don't know why we're thrown into this death trap that we call the world. It feels like a prison where everybody's fighting against each other based on racial issues, economic issues. Everybody's trying to get over on each other. Everybody, has all these methodologies of thinking and incorporating all type of ideologies. There's different religions. Every religion believes that their religion is the right one. There's different ways of thinking, different ways of, talking. We got different languages. I think this world would be a lot better if all of us could unite somehow. But it seems like this world it feeds off the negative energetic manifestational frequency of the soul. It really feels that way, man. And it sucks. How can this be allowed? I wonder. We know the Gnostic text explains it, but I'm just saying for people, just to make you think a bit. They have so much abundance in the world. They have technological advancements, yet people are more miserable than they ever been. We live in a highly advanced society, yet millions of people still go hungry. Millions of people still don't have no housing, me included. And yet there's people out there that have never really experienced true hardships. They're able to make it in their teens or in their 20s and make their dreams come true and make their goals and ambitions come true at a very early age, so they get to actually enjoy their life and travel the world and see different places and spaces. They say life is not fair, of course, but we have to make the best of it that we can. And it sucks because some of us, you may have sacrificed years of your life trying to become something or trying to make it or whatever. And it's just the real reason is you haven't had the right people around. You didn't meet the right people. I think Savvy Guy made a video a couple of days ago talking about how in the music industry, you can have some of the most talented people that will never make it because they're at some, they got to survive, like we got to survive. But then you have somebody else who's maybe may not be as talented, but, their dad, their uncle, their friend, whoever knows the right person are able to make, they would actually make it and get into the industry. And then you learn about the industry and all the weird things that go on behind there. But it's not just the music industry. It's every industry that makes money. The powers that be, they're in the game of mind control. They want to control your mind, control your thoughts, control the way you think, control your perceptions, control that. They can't have a populace of educated thinkers because then people are going to start thinking of ways how to escape the system. There's a reason why YouTube doesn't pay you for views. Can you imagine for last year, I got paid for views. Let's imagine if one view equals $1. That means last year alone, I would have made almost $500,000 off my views. If I got paid, of course, you got paid taxes and shit, so it probably wouldn't be the full half a million or whatever, but it'd probably been over 250,000 just from talking on the phone and making videos. Can you imagine if life was fair like that? If not a full dollar, at least 50 cents for every view. I bet everybody would want to make YouTube videos then, and that's the problem. Everybody will want to escape, economic circumstances. Even now, I think on this little small channel, I just started in a month, and I think all-time views 21,000, which is nothing, but hell, $21,000 right now would help me out a lot. But this world is designed a certain way, and YouTube, it's not fair for every channel. Some channels earn more than other channels, and it's like they say a quote-unquote algorithm that dictates that. But we got to understand, stop with this algorithm crap. There's real people behind these algorithms. These algorithms didn't invent themselves. There's people and coders, and people have their own biases that are implemented and integrated into the algorithmic system. There's a reason why certain YouTubers can post for years and never get banned, Look at all these YouTubers who be saying all type of weird, wild stuff, they never get banned. They never get copyright strike claims or anything like that. Meanwhile, other people, you say one thing or make one thing and your whole channel's gone. Or YouTube can be targeting you. This world doesn't play fair, man. So I want you guys to try to find a way to make it, whatever it is you guys are doing, because it's very difficult out there. I see why a lot of men, self-neutralization is on the rise. I see why. I don't blame anybody for, doing what they have to do if they feel like, it's too much. I understand, because we all should be able to enjoy life and be happy. We shouldn't be put in this prison where we got systems of oppression that are designed to break away your spirit, that are designed to break your mind. That should be a spiritual crime. Whoever designed this, implemented this, is truly wicked, sadistic, vile, and evil. Twisted as well. Because this is not a way for human souls to exist, But it's something that people have accepted. And if you look at the world today, the world didn't just wake up one day and then everybody's just, believing whatever the government says and everybody's obedient sheep and stuff. This took thousands of years to fully accomplish. And we already know who's behind it, Starts with a J, but they own YouTube, they own the housing, they own the banking, they own every army in the world. They own Israel, of course, they own the United States. Hell, they own Russia too. They own everything. Germany is not the same Germany back in 1933, back in 1929. The Germany of today is not the same. Germany back in those days, they had pride in their people. They believed in their people. You know, have you ever seen the Waffen SS march? Those black suits, with the swastika, and the swastika is an ancient symbol, from India. In case people didn't know that, there's ancient things older than the Nazis that have swastikas on there. There's ancient, mountains and ancient like fucking buildings that have swastikas way before Hitler was even born. The swastika was an adopted sign used and utilized by the Nazis, and also the swastika is a magical sign. In case people didn't know that. Yeah, look into what I'm saying. But when you watch the Waffen SS, they look like men. They walked in all marched in formation. They had those suits with the skull and bones on it. They marched, boom, 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 boom. They were ready for war. They were ready for battle. They weren't no TikToks, no taking cameras, no weird shit then. You had people that believed in their people and believed in what they believed in. They fought. Nowadays, you have a conglomeration of different types of people trying to live together. And you already know my race is the most hated and everybody hates my race. But when they say that people like in Europe or whatever, why are they getting mad because these people are coming over? Because those people, that's their home. It makes no sense for people to go to like Afghanistan or Pakistan, burn it, and those people may harbor some type of hate, and then they come to the country you're in, and then you don't know what they're planning or plotting. Me, I don't really give a damn because I think the whole world is just evil, wicked anyway, so fuck it. But I'm just saying I can understand people's anger in certain situations and the danger of having, just different ideologies. When somebody believes somebody's a Muslim or whatever, and this person over here likes to eat pork and they don't believe in that, that can cause a discrepancy. You don't want nobody to scream out Allah Akbar. The next thing you know, the whole building just goes into flames with the Battle of Leningrad. You know what I mean? Like, no. And the world is built on divisiveness. Even the algorithm patterns are designed to put things in front of you that are inflammatory, that are meant to get you riled up, that are meant to get you angry, that are meant to harbor some type of resentment. True peace and happiness is not found on the external. It's found within. But the problem is we've been trained that these external things and external elements bring happiness. Of course they bring happiness. When you get a new car, a new home, a new girl, whatever, that's going to bring happiness. But then all those things can be taken from you. The house can be taken away. The car can be repossessed. The girl can go to somebody else and suck his dick, and then you're going to be there by yourself. So you have to learn how to be happy when you have nothing, or at least try to, This world is absolutely brutal, cruel, and wicked. And it doesn't care about those who are left behind or those who look a certain way or those who are in economic deprivation. Still, man, we have to keep on fighting on. Have to keep on fighting on. Peace.